Can Africans rebuild Africa themselves?
Africa loses forests every year. Temperatures are rising. Land is changing. But here in Chongwe, Zambia, some people believe they can change the future one tree at a time.
Everyone agrees that it is important to plant trees. Nobody thinks it is their job to do this. And that is why we are here. So my name is Hope Mukunte. I'm the founder of Green Gold Social. We are an NGO in Chongwe that is planting indigenous Zambian trees and helping farmers become climate resilient through agroforestry. So we have been working in Chongwe since 2024. We have so far planted more than 20,000 trees. In March this year, we planted 10,000 indigenous Zambian trees.
Can planting trees really change Africa?
You seem to be so passionate about planting trees and forestry. Did you study for this?
No, I didn't study anything related to either agriculture, conservation, or forestry.
No. What were you doing before this?
I'm a journalist by profession.
Okay.
So I'm right now, I'm a communications consultant. So that is how I make my living on the other end. So the passion for planting trees came about because I think where I come from in Choma, our grandfather left us a lot of land and we were farming quite a lot. Even when I moved from Choma to come to Lusaka, some of the money I used to start my life in Lusaka, because I came as a freelancer, I sold maize to the FRI. So I've always been into farming, but it is only when I came to Chongwe, when I saw how bad like the deforestation is here, that I said, maybe I can do something about this. So right now, I'm studying with Yale University in the USA. I'm doing a tropical forestry course. I think we're all aware that like fertilizer is not cheap.
Yeah.
And most small-scale farmers cannot afford to buy fertilizer. So we have a project where we are introducing farmers to like Grilicidia sepium. Grilicidia is a nitrogen-fixing tree that fixes nitrogen in the soil.
Yeah.
So it boosts the fertility of the soil. And by so doing, it can help a farmer get better yields if these trees are planted next to the maize. And we had to come up with ways on how to fund our work. So we started selling some of the trees that we plant. So we have this 1 kg forest bag. This contains more than 2,500 seeds of indigenous Zambian trees, and it can cover 1 hectare of land. Just
So
this.
these are different seeds.
Yes.
Mixed together.
So we have Mutondo, the one I was talking about for charcoal.
Yeah.
We have Musango, we have Musekese, we also have Acacia. So like the basic forest pack like this is 500 kwacha and contains 4 seed varieties.
One thing that our channel does is bring you informative content that will not only educate you, but push you to act. And so do us a favor by clicking that subscribe button, liking this video, and leaving a comment. And don't forget to share. My name is Akoza Piri, and you are watching The Stones.
So why did you start planting trees?
Okay. That's a really good question. I think I moved to Chongwe in 2023 January.
Yeah.
And I'm a runner, so I needed to find a route for running. So that's how I started running in these mountains. And on my runs, I met like a man carrying charcoal. Yeah. So I stopped him and asked him what kind of trees he had, the ones that they cut down for charcoal. And then one of the key things he said was that we have finished all the trees, that we actually now have to go deeper in the bush to get some more trees. So it occurred to me that, okay, if these guys have finished all the trees, maybe if we started planting trees and kept on planting them every year, maybe that would make a difference. So that's how basically I started. But before that, obviously, I had to talk to the village headman in Chikwera village where I live. Yeah, to organize meetings to raise awareness about the same. And then I met a man called Mr. Zulu now, who introduced me to other headmen. So the initial one was like just simply going around talking to headmen. And then the second phase was looking for young people in Chongwe as volunteers so that we can start going on hikes to pick the tree seeds. And then we can keep them and plant them in the rain season.
What problems are we really facing that caused you to start planting trees?
The problems that we're trying to solve with the tree planting is we are trying to solve the problem of poverty.
Yeah.
And I'll explain, because the reason why people cut down trees, even for charcoal or even to like clear the land for farming, is because they want to earn a bit of money. They want to feed themselves.
Yeah.
So every project that plants trees will not be complete if it doesn't address the issue of poverty. That's why even in our project, we just don't plant trees. Actually, the tree planting is the last phase of the project. There are other activities that we do where the villagers actually get to earn money from the project. And that is how we address the whole issue of deforestation. We start with addressing the poverty. For instance, we have people who collect our seeds. We have 20 women and young people in Chongwe who actually go out and pick the seeds, and then they sell the seeds. So like for a few months during the year, they actually earn money from this. And some of them are actually the people who cut down trees for charcoal, former like charcoal burners. And then we also have women and people living with disabilities who make our grow bags. Even though we are planting the trees in the ground now, but we still make the grow bags because we sell some seedlings as part of how we raise money. So we have some trainings for young people and women and people living with disabilities where we train them how to make those grow bags where we plant the seedlings in. So even that, then we train them, we give them the materials to make the grow bags, and then they also make money. They actually sell the grow bags to us, to the project again. So these are the two things that happen before we actually plant trees. Before all this, we have meetings where we go in the villages involving the headmen, where we talk to people about the importance of cutting down trees, the importance of protecting nature. But most importantly, we ask them what challenges they are going through. By understanding how they live, it is how we can even design our tree planting project so that it is also becomes their lifestyle, other than just something that you come and enforce on people to say, no, you plant trees here. It is something that from the time we started in Chongwe, one of the key things that has helped us a lot is the relationship we have built, where, you know, people feel like you are with them, you are one with them. And even when it comes to the tree planting, they actually go out and get the seeds and they do the tree planting, and we only come to supervise. Yes.
Why should ordinary Africans care about tree planting?
That's a very good question, because this is our land. You know, this is our continent. I'll be honest with you, there is a lot of money that is thrown at Africa, like donations and grants for tree planting projects. But if I'm going to be honest with you, is that our government can actually fund tree planting because it doesn't take a lot of money to plant trees. It's just a matter of organizing people and just doing it every year. It doesn't matter how many trees you plant. As long as you start and you are planting every year, you are increasing the number. If you are planting 1,000 every year, if you are increasing the number maybe up to 10,000 every year, in 10 years, you'd have planted 100,000 trees. So that is the reason why we, as Africans and as Zambians, need to plant trees because one, we can, and two, this is our land. And the trees give us so much. They give us fruits, they give us shade, they protect our soil from erosion, and most importantly, they protect us from climate change.
Many people talk about climate change, but for farmers, communities, and the future generations, the effects are already here. Zambia in 2024 experienced the worst drought in history, which was deemed as a national emergency in a period of 40 years. It affected food security, electricity supply, affecting the entire country's economic and social livelihood. This was all an effect of global climate change affecting the rain cycle.
I know it's not easy for someone to just wake up one day and decide to say, hey, I'm going to plant trees. Who funds you?
So that's a very good question. Right now, we are self-funded. And by self-funded, meaning that when I started this project, and even up to now, I use the money from my own personal business, also like for my consultancy, because I'm a communications consultant as well. So I use that money to fund this, and I've been funding it for 2 years now. Even though we did get a grant from the Pollination Project from the USA, they give out small grants to organizations all over the world, even those who are not registered yet. So I saw the opportunity online and I applied, and they gave us $1,000. So it is the money that we used actually to plant the 10,000 trees we planted here. And even though it cost a bit more, so we used also like part of our own money as well. And as of November 2025, some of the funding that we actually use in the project comes from the selling of our forest parks. So we also sell our own seeds. We pack them in the forest park and then we sell them to people who want to plant on their land. So that one is doing very well, and it has funded us quite a lot, even paying some of the salaries of the people who are part-time on the project. Yes, please.
What made you think that all this could be possible?
I think that if people don't get permission to cut down trees, I don't think anyone should get permission to plant them. So for me, the logic behind planting trees is that if we are cutting down the trees at this rate, if we can plant them at a faster rate, we can replace them quicker. So that is the logic behind it.
I see. So when you started, what challenges did you face?
There were, I would say, like 3 challenges. The biggest one was obviously where to find the seeds. Yeah. And this is where now our network of young people and women in Chongwe have been so helpful in collecting the seeds. They actually go out. These trees, every tree that you see here, at some point in the year, it drops down the seeds on the ground. So they pick and then they bring to us. So initially that was a big challenge because I didn't know where to go. And I had to learn quickly and I had to ask around from the villagers. Number 2 is the funding. Of course, planting trees is not cheap. At any shape of whether you're planting 100 or 1,000, there are so many logistics like transporting the seedlings from where they are to take them to the planting site. So the funding was a big problem. I think number 3, and maybe this is the biggest challenge, is to convince people to join me on this journey and to do this. Because you see, even up to now, you will see people, they will see someone cutting down trees for charcoal and they will not do or say anything. It is a normal way of life. So now convincing people to say planting trees can also just be as normal as cutting them down, that was the biggest challenge. But thankful enough, because of the relationship we have with the village headmen here, they were able to organize meetings for us. And then we started talking to people, sitting down and like raising awareness, and were able to start slowly.
So did you ever face a situation where you planted trees and they didn't survive?
That's a very good question. Initially, after our volunteers picked the seeds, we planted 1,000 trees in the grow bags. And then we had to transport them now from Chkwela village to here Chisengu, which is about 5 kilometers. And those trees all failed. And the reason why they did this very simple is because when you transplant a tree from a grow bag into the ground, the taproot has now to start reestablishing itself. So unlike what we are doing now with the success of like a germination of 90%, where we are planting the seeds in the ground, the seeds we plant in the ground get to germinate and establish quickly because the taproot is already in the ground. And the ones that we actually got from our nursery at the time and planted failed because by the time they were trying to establish, the rain season was also ending. So we lost, I would say, maybe even 70, maybe 700 trees. And so that was, it was very tough because, like I said, we had so many challenges to actually even get to have 1,000 trees ready to plant. One, there was no water to water them. And two, even just the transport. The guy that we had to bring us didn't show up. So we ended up using an ox cart to transport the trees. And then, we got them to the planting site. We planted them 2-3 months later, only 30%, about 300 of them survived. So that was really tough. And that made us actually rethink the whole approach of planting trees.
How much can one tree really change?
Okay, that's a really good question. And so in my hand right now, I have Musangu. Yeah, this is a nitrogen fixing tree. It's called Fadibia albida in English. Then I have Mutondo. It's called Jubinadia paniculata in English. So this is like a miombo tree, indigenous to Zambia. And this is the tree that people cut down for charcoal. So every time that you are cooking with charcoal, you're most likely using this tree.
Oh.
So this tree on its own, as like individually, it can't do much.
Yeah.
But if you plant a hectare of this, which is about 3,000 trees, it can store up to 3.5 tons of carbon in the soil.
Okay.
So that is why it is such a powerful tree for climate action, because climate change is stopped by storing the carbon in the soil and in the trees. When you burn the charcoal, you're releasing the carbon in the atmosphere and increasing the effects of greenhouse gases. So this tree can store up to 3.5 tons of carbon per year, like on a hectare of land.
Yeah.
So even for people that want to invest in tree planting, if you have 1 hectare, 5, 10, 15 hectares, when you plant this, you can actually at some point consider, like selling carbon credits from your land if you have these trees on your land.
Yeah.
That's how powerful this tree is. So as a single tree, not much, but as a collective, it does a lot. And not only on the climate action side, this tree, because of its like root system, the roots spread out up to maybe even 20 meters. It's very good for stopping soil erosion. Like where we are here, this place floods quite a lot. So planting a tree like this will ensure that the soil is tight, so that like the nutrients of the topsoil don't get washed away.
What impact do you want to create with this?
The tree planting.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're looking at our project, even though we're a tree planting project, we are actually in the poverty eradication business. Because the reason why people cut down trees for charcoal and for agriculture is because they want to feed themselves. And so when you look at the core cause of poverty is people lacking jobs, people just sitting around. So we will consider ourselves a success if we can give people jobs. If we can give people jobs while they plant trees, I think for us, that is a success. And since we're a project that isn't going to go away, we're going to be increasing the number of people that we give jobs even as we plant trees. So number two, to restore tree cover. So as you can see here, this is quite plain. Even though there are trees here and there, it's quite plain. A natural healthy forest has tree cover. And you can only do that when you plant a massive number of trees per year. So the impact now is, this land is degraded. The impact would be to restore the land like in square kilometers. Let's say this year we're going to plant 200,000 trees in a like an area of like 3.5 square kilometers. So you're looking at 3 kilometers, but going this way and that way. So planting trees there, in 5-10 years, that place would have become a forest. So that is the other impact that we want. The most like important impact we want to have is for this to become a lifestyle for people. Because remember, the people who cut down trees for charcoal, it is their lifestyle. It is how they earn money. So if you can earn money from cutting down trees, can you imagine the impact you can have from actually planting them? So for us, the impact would be when actually people, when it's rain season, they can actually plant trees on their own, even when the project is not in the picture. So that's the sustainability that we want, whereby even the young children who are involved in the project, because we also do climate awareness in the schools. We do that so that the young children, as they grow, they can pick this up and it becomes something that they do in their adulthood.
How has been the response from the locals?
Like the response has been good. We started with like 3 villages, Chikwela village, Kapuka village, and now we're in Chisengo village. We're actually now in also like Kampekete, Bimbe, and Chiliabale. The response has been good over the past 2 years, but it has not been easy. Because once again, sometimes you look like a crazy person when you just show up and say, let's start planting trees. But then for us, the headman really bought into the project. Yeah. And right now, even like the chairperson of our board is a headman for Chisengo village. So, you know, the headmen are not only telling people to come to our meetings or to plant trees, they are also in the project. That is how big like the impact has been and how big people have responded, because they respect the headman. Once the headman call for a meeting, everyone comes running. And so that has really helped us in that regard.
Now, a very interesting question. I'm sure my viewers would want to know this. You know, knowing Africa.
Yes.
And our way of life. And, you know, when people are used to something for so long, it's so difficult to change their mindset. And sometimes something that is as positive as this becomes a threat to them. Have you received any threats from charcoal burners?
No, we haven't. Actually, you'll be surprised that some of the people who collect our seeds are actually charcoal burners, because we don't demonize what they do. People have to earn a living, and it is natural that people have to earn a living from nature. Yeah. Our project only says that, okay, if you're going to cut down trees, you might as well plant them. So the charcoal burners have really been helpful, because they are the people that actually know the trees. They will tell you when they take you in the bush. Sometimes we go with them deep in the bush, and then they will show you the trees. Oh, this tree is like this. This tree drops like the seeds around this time of the year. This tree burns like this. So we said, okay, let's incorporate them in the project because they are the people that know the trees.
Yeah.
Of course, at first they were very skeptical because they thought that maybe like the forestry department will come and harass them. But then we had to reassure them that we are here to just simply help you make money, not only from charcoal, but as well as from the money you'll be making from the seed collection. So we really haven't received any resistance from the charcoal burners. It has been the opposite.
Okay, that's very interesting. Now, how do you decide which trees to plant and where to plant them?
That is a very good question. So for our reforestation projects, they are like tree planting. We only plant Zambian indigenous trees.
Yeah.
So these are trees that are already growing naturally and are used to the Zambian climate. So for instance, this is like a miombo tree.
Yeah.
This is mutondo. This is an indigenous tree to Zambia. This grows naturally in the wild in Zambia. This is musangu, as well as an indigenous Zambian tree. So for our reforestation, only Zambian indigenous trees. But for the agroforestry part, we plant Grilicidia, which is not indigenous to Zambia, but is very good for nitrogen fixation in the soil. And how we decide where to plant trees, we let the headmen decide, because the headmen know where their people have cut down trees. So a lot of times the headman will tell us, like where we are right now, Headman Tisengu is the one who showed us where to plant. And when we came to plant here, we understood why. Because as you can see, this place is almost bare here. And two, because it gets flooded sometimes here.
Yeah.
So our trees actually help to hold the soil and prevent soil erosion. So he was smart enough to even consider all these things and then show us the area.
How often do you train the locals in forest planting or tree planting?
This work that we're doing, the tree planting, will not be a success without the training first. Because there's a theory part where you explain the importance of planting trees and also just how to actually plant trees. We also teach them how to identify the trees. So for the trainings, we have two types. We have the ones where we hold with the villagers. We call them our forest champions. These are like young people in Chongwe who we train on how to make these grow bags. So that is part of the training. And also just to train them to be more like vigilantes, how to, to stop bushfires, how to be alert if there's a bushfire, how to collect seeds, how to identify the trees, and just in general, what climate change is and what part they can play in like preventing it. So these are the trainings that we hold like in the villages. Every village we go to start a project, we hold about 2 or 3 of these trainings with 3 different young people and women. The other training we do, and this is very important for us, is the one we do in schools. So we have what we call a school climate and tree planting project, where we go around in Chongwe schools, where we talk to students, maybe from grade 4, 5, and 6, those who are still at the school, maybe about 70 to 100 of them. We teach them the importance of planting trees, and then we form nature clubs. So they are part of a club where they actually now come with us. The best ones come with us in the villages to go and raise awareness about climate change. And then at these schools as well, every school we plant about 100 trees. So the reason why we plant the trees there and why we choose the younger students is because they can take care of the trees at a school. As they go through their school, they are also taking care of the trees there. And this knowledge is practical to them. It isn't just something that they learn and forget. We plant the trees there. No, they plant the trees at a school. And then when we leave, they water the trees and they are like take care of them. And then as they go out of the school, this is something that is part of their lifestyle. So these are the 2 trainings that we do.
Okay. Now, how hard is this work of tree planting?
I'll be honest with you. I think like the most difficult part in my experience has been the organizing people. Just recruiting people to join you on this journey, and people who know how important it is for us to plant trees. Because, like frankly speaking, like I said in the intro, everyone says we all need to plant trees, and it's a good thing to do. But no one thinks it's their job. No one wakes up and says, okay, this is my job, I'm going to do it. Unless someone like me start doing what I'm doing. So in my experience, it is not even like the funding that is the hardest part. It is not finding the tree seeds to plant that is the hardest part. The hardest part is actually convincing people that this is their job to do, and they should be doing this as part of their lives. And it has taken us almost 3 years now in Chongwe, in about like 3 villages, just to like recruit people and raise awareness. And actually, the most place we have had most success in this area is where we are right now in Chisengo village. In the other 2 villages that are close to the town, we were not able to like recruit people there because, like I said, it is hard to motivate people to show them the importance. And so in Chikwela village, we didn't have so much success recruiting people. In Kapuka village, not so much success. But where we are in Chisengo, in Bimbe, in Chiriavale and Kampekete, we have had so much success because we have also learned along the way how to approach people and how to organize them. So mind you, like the reason why this is also so very hard is because when people think of an NGO, they hear NGO, they think you're going to show up with a Hilux. And it's just a guy with a backpack and a few other people. And then they expect sitting allowances, they expect some money, and then you don't have money because we are self-funded. All our money mostly goes to buying seeds and everything.
Out there, we have a YouTube community from Africa and all over the world. What support would you love our YouTube community to give you?
I'll be honest with you. At this point where we are right now, because we are planting so many trees now we need funding. It is not enough to do this on our own anymore. And of course, we are a fully like registered NGO. We are certified, and we have an operational bank account. So for those who follow us on our page at Green God Social Facebook, those who want to help, they can like reach to us and donate some money. And for everyone who donates money for us, we actually have a place on our website where we indicate all the money that we have received. So we are very transparent in that. So I think that like that is like the biggest support that we need. And of course, you have to spread the word. And I think that you also have to keep watching the video of these guys, because by watching their videos, you're also supporting us. And because these guys are doing an amazing work, spreading, like the work that most Zambians are doing that most people wouldn't know from TV or like anywhere else.
Thank you so much for that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Trees are more than just plants. They create shade, improve soil, support farming, and help communities.
So what does success look like for you doing this?
To be honest with you, success for us looks like if we can employ even 500, I would say, let's say maybe 500 people every year who like can collect our seeds for us and who can be involved in the project. And if we can plant at least 1 million trees every year, not only in Chongwe, but in other places in Zambia where, people have cut down trees, I think that would be success for us. But most importantly, we want that every rain season, Zambians should just wake up and start planting trees. This is why we even sell our forest park, so that people who want to plant trees anywhere that they are can buy our forest park and plant trees wherever they are. I want this to be a lifestyle. The same way that people cut down trees and don't feel anything, I also want people to plant trees and not even make it a big deal. You just wake up and plant trees and go about your day.
Do you think Zambia has got opportunities?
I think so much. actually Zambia has more opportunities than young people and everyone can do with them. Yeah.
What would you change about Zambia?
I think what I would change is the mindset, especially the mindset of young people, and also the mindset of like the adults. So the adults need to support young people with ideas, and the young people need to stop the mindset of waiting to be given work. You know,
Yeah.
I want the young people to have the mindset of just starting with what they have where they are. I think there's a lot of potential because like 70% of the population in Zambia is just young people. And instead of doing like these vices that we see, um, if they have ideas, let them just start where they are. I know that like for either you want to start a business or you want to start a project like I did, or you want to start farming, a lot of people say I need capital. But I'm going to be honest with you, even the people who fund anything want to see progress. They want to see you doing something on your own first. So you can always start with where you are. And I want to encourage young people to, if they have an idea, move from just thinking of the idea and telling your friends about the idea, move from that to actually start executing right there with what you have. And then, trust me, it's going to be very hard, but eventually the support will come as long as people see that you are serious with what you're trying to do.
What's your 10-year plan for Green Gold Zambia and these projects that you have?
Our 10-year plan is very massive. We aside from just like planting indigenous trees, we also have the agroforestry component. So in 10 years time, we want to be able to help at least 1 million farmers in Zambia replace fertilizer with nitrogen fixing trees in their maize fields. So we are looking forward to that. And I think we want to be able to at least be able to train, I would say maybe even like 1 million students and plant maybe even like 1 million trees in the schools for our project for like the students. And I think in 10 years, I'm really looking forward to maybe, this is 2026, by 2036, we should be able to plant 10 million trees every year, you know, like without so much effort. Because again, like I said, the biggest challenge about this project is organizing people. And we want to replicate the model that we have in Chongwe that has worked so well for us in other areas as well, to the point where we involve our like community radio stations to raise awareness about tree planting. So we want like everyone like in every village like in Zambia to just be able to plant trees. And I know this is very hard because most villages in Zambia face the water challenges. But then with the model that we have of like planting directly in the ground, what we want to be able to see is like, I would say like a seed bank. I would love to have like a seed bank in every village in Zambia where we have different like variety of indigenous Zambian tree seeds locked up somewhere very safe, ready for planting every rain season. So that every rain season, when it starts raining, the headman organizes people, they get the seeds, they go to plant. Yes.
In Africa, other people inherit forests, and some choose to plant. And today is an example of those that have chosen to plant and build from scratch. Our viewers, could this be part of Africa's future? Let me know in the comment section.